Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, this story is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing and potentially transformative in recent Giants history. We've seen moves before, big trades, draft picks, but what's happening right now might just turn the NFC East upside down. The Giants, sitting at 2-4 so far this season, are facing their own set of challenges, especially in the passing game. But there's a new player coming in, a true game changer, and it's none other than CeeDee Lamb. Yes, you heard right. Lamb, the dynamic wide receiver from Dallas, is reportedly heading to the Giants, and it's a move that could redefine their offense and elevate their chances in the postseason. Let's talk about Lamb for a moment, because this isn't just any receiver. Drafted in 2020 out of Oklahoma, CeeDee Lamb has shown flashes of elite talent right from the start. Throughout 2024, he's been a top 8 wide receiver across the league, with over 200 yards receiving and 9 touchdowns. These aren't just impressive numbers, they're signs of a player who consistently produces, who can change the course of a game with his yards after catch, or YAC, which is a major part of his game. Lamb's YAC average is an astonishing 6 yards per reception, placing him among the top 5 in the league. That's a weapon for any offense, especially one like the Giants, who have been craving that explosive element in their passing attack. In 2024, Lamb's numbers reflect his elite status. He's averaging around 13.5 yards per reception, which places him nicely among the top 20 in the league. His contested catches percentage is also impressive, around 55%, placing him in the top 8 at catching those tight, difficult passes. And his EPA per target, or expected points added, is plus 0.22, a figure that tells us he's not just making catches, he's creating real offensive value when he's on the field. His PFF grade of 89.2, ranking 6th among receivers, confirms what the tape shows. Lamb is a premier playmaker. Now, 2025 has been a bit of a different story for Lamb. He was limited by an ankle injury that cost him 2 games, and his overall production dipped somewhat, just 18 receptions for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. But even with that limited sample, his ability to separate, averaging 2.9 yards of separation, is still among the league's best. For context, Lamb's performance against the New Orleans Saints in Week 2, where he caught 7 passes for 102 yards and a touchdown, highlights his ability to step up when it counts. And if we look at his career stats, he's accumulated over 500 yards and 40 touchdowns, with a route win rate of 64%. The numbers tell us Lamb is not just a flash in the pan, he's a proven star whose best is still ahead. So why would Dallas trade away such a talented player? Well, the Cowboys are in a bit of a rebuild mode right now. Their record of 2-4 doesn't tell the full story, but it does highlight their struggles. They're sitting with just about $8 million in cap space, and their defense, ranked 26th in points allowed at 27 per game, is in need of attention. The drama around Lamb's contract, which has an $18 million hit, has been a factor. Dallas is clearly focusing on rebuilding and acquiring assets, especially on their defensive line, where they need reinforcements to turn their season around. Now, let's turn our attention to the Giants. This is where things get really fascinating. The Giants, also at 2-4, have been struggling in their passing game, especially in the slot. Their current situation has been described as a crisis, but with Lamb coming into the fold, that could change dramatically. Imagine a scenario where Lamb becomes the primary target, elevating the entire offense, and giving quarterback Daniel Jones a true number 1 receiver. Lamb's addition could push the Giants' projected passing yards per game to around 250 yards, with roughly 300 yards and 10 touchdowns over the course of the rest of the season. Those are big numbers that would significantly boost their offensive efficiency. In fact, Lamb's presence is expected to improve the Giants' pass yards per game by about 19%, and his chemistry with Daniel Jones could be a game changer. When you compare Lamb to other key receivers on the team, like Jalen Hyatt, the difference is clear. Lamb adds a layer of explosiveness that the Giants desperately need. Hyatt has been promising, but Lamb's ability to turn short catches into big gains, thanks to that elite YAC ability, is what makes him a true X factor. And let's not forget the impact on the offense's overall efficiency. The Giants' PFF offensive grade could see a jump from around 75.3 to over 82, making their aerial attack more dynamic and difficult for defenses to handle. This upgrade isn't just about a single player, it's about transforming the entire offensive identity of the team. With Lamb, the Giants could become a top 12 passing team, reducing turnovers by roughly 12% and creating more explosive plays, especially in critical moments like red zone efficiency. Lamb's ability to produce plus 25% in red zone efficiency versus zone defenses, like the Eagles, could be the difference in tight games down the stretch. Now, the implications for the NFC are enormous. The odds of the Giants winning the Super Bowl, which were around plus 12.0 before this move, could now plummet to around plus 4.0. That's a huge shift, signaling that the Giants are seen as serious contenders once again. The NFC title odds, previously at plus 500, could become more favorable as this new weapons package takes shape. Lamb's addition isn't just a splash move, it's a clear statement that the Giants are all in, aiming for that Super Bowl run. This trade also shifts the balance of power in the division. The Cowboys, with their current struggles, might be looking at a different strategy, possibly tanking or rebuilding, especially on defense. Dallas's focus seems to be on stockpiling assets for the future, which could leave the NFC East more open for the Giants to seize the moment and challenge the Eagles and others at the top. The Eagles, always a threat, will need to adjust, especially with Lamb adding to the Giants' offensive arsenal. From a long-term perspective, this move is about more than just this season. It's about establishing a new identity, a team that's ready to contend not just in 2024 but beyond. The Giants have a talented core, and adding a player like Lamb, who has shown he can produce under pressure, could be the catalyst that pushes them from pretenders to legitimate contenders. And Daniel Jones, with a new weapon in Lamb, could finally take that leap into being a top-tier quarterback, elevating his game to meet the expectations that come with such a star receiver. So, as we look ahead, the storylines are clear. The Giants are making a bold statement, and they're doing it with a move that could redefine their season. The NFC East is getting even more interesting, and the implications for playoff seeding, Super Bowl aspirations, and team dynamics are enormous. If Lamb can stay healthy and continue to produce at this elite level, the Giants' offense will be unrecognizable from what we've seen so far this year. They're poised to be a different team, more explosive, more dangerous, and with a real shot at making a deep playoff run. And as fans, we have to stay tuned, because this is the kind of move that can turn everything around. The Giants are betting on their future, and with Lamb now in the mix, the potential is huge. The NFC East is no longer just about the Eagles and Cowboys. The Giants are making their statement, and it's going to be fascinating to see how this unfolds over the coming weeks. The season is far from over, and with this kind of talent infusion, the Giants might just be on the brink of something special. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest New York Giants news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. In conclusion, what we're witnessing right now is a strategic pivot for the Giants, a move that's not just about acquiring a star, but about signaling their ambitions. The trade for Lamb, along with the potential addition of Deonte Banks, a promising young cornerback, shows that the Giants are serious about competing at the highest level. These moves could be the foundation for a team that's ready to challenge the status quo in the NFC and make a real push for the Super Bowl. For fans of the Giants, it's an exciting time. There's hope, there's talent, and there's a clear plan to rise from the ashes of a tough start to something much bigger. Keep your eyes on this story, because it's far from over and the best might still be yet to come. Remember, this is a team that's building something special, and with the right pieces falling into place, the 2024 season could turn out to be one for the history books. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's see how this story unfolds in the weeks ahead.